Shrad's Talks Books. I'm Shrad. I'm a bookworm. I read, review, share, and give unsolicited book recommendations to all my friends who may or may not be readers. I genuinely believe that the books are dangerous and they should come with a warning label that says, "This might change your world." This podcast is my way of taking those unsolicited book recommendations to a new level. I will talk about books that I read, things that are about books, book world, authors, new and old favorites, once a week. My views and opinions might not always resonate with the popular ones. Please join me in enjoying the return word. Hope we change their lives together.
Let's talk about Mitch Albom. Now, rereading a book is a very rare phenomenon for me. I'm somebody who proudly says that I was born with a to-read list longer than I can finish in one lifetime. I can count on a single hand's fingers the authors who can make me reread a book. Mitch Albom is one of those authors. If you're unfamiliar with Mr. Albom's work, I think the best way to describe them is to call them like a dialogue that is a mix of morality, faith, and afterlife. The first book from Mitch Albom that I picked up was a curious little book called Five People You Meet in Heaven. It's a wonderful little story about Eddie, who's an amusement park mechanic and who dies in a ride accident trying to save a little girl, and he's sent to heaven. In his journey, he meets five people who he has seen or met in his life while he was alive. And these people have some significant impact on his life while he was living. The book invites all of us to look at our own lives with a new eyes. It makes you wonder about what you and I take for granted and how blessed we truly are. It's a simple message of you never know how your presence impacts those around you. After Five People, Mitch Albom quickly became one of my staple authors. Someone whose books I will pick up because I know I'm in for a good story. Tuesdays with Maury, For One More Day, Have a Little Faith. None of his books have ever disappointed me, really. So when I saw The Timekeeper in Crossroad, I picked it up without a single thought. Timekeeper has all the things that you come to expect from a Mitch Albom book. It has themes of mystery and faith and timelessness. It's a story of Door. He was the first one who invented a clock, who counted time for the first time. And for all his efforts, he was banished to a cave. He was punished for trying to measure God's greatest gift to mankind. He practically was cursed to become Father Time, and he has to listen to every person who laments about not having enough time. It's a story of his fascination and obsession with measuring everything. It's a story of his unquenchable thirst of knowledge, and it's also a story of his torment and salvation from this obsession. He gets a chance to redeem himself, and regain his freedom when he encounters Sarah and Victor. Now, Sarah is this geeky little intelligent, shy and socially inept teenager who's decided to commit suicide. It's a direct result of her, angst to try to fit in and find her first love, which ends up in a heartbreak. And of course, her parents are getting divorced. On the other hand, Victor, who's world's 13th richest man, is a businessman and an elderly gentleman. He's husband to a devoted wife and boss to a boatload of people. He's a man of enormous success, but he's also a man who's afraid of the end of the life approaching sooner than he expected in the rise of cancer. He's a man who wants to outlast death, and he wants to do that by cryogenic freezing himself. With a gentle touch of his earlier stories, Mitch Albom spins a story that touches your heart, makes you smile, at times makes you cringe. It's a story that teaches you to appreciate what you have and what is important. Though the message of the novel tries to convey an age-old wisdom, the way Mitch handles the story is simple but effective. It's such a fluid story that I finished the novel in less than 2 days. It's a story that doesn't leave you even when you're done reading it. And that I think is what should be a sign of a good novel. There are parts of this novel where you wonder, where is all this going? How is this all going to come together? And the answers to that only come at about 30 odd pages. But when they come, you also end up completing a journey that you never realized that you were on. It's a story that makes you pause, take a look at what you have, a story that makes you appreciate the beauty and the fragility of life. It's a story that makes you think. I can talk a lot about what works and what doesn't, but I think the best way to end this review is by citing a very poignant statement from the book. There is a reason why God limits our need. Why? She asked. He replied, to make each one precious.
Hey, you stuck till the end. Congratulations. How does it feel to have endured my rant and rambling? Sounds great, doesn't it? I assume since you reached the end, there must have been something that you liked, and I would love to know what worked. If something didn't work, please let me know instead of leaving rude or nasty comments. If I agree with it, I will try to change it. But since I'm a little stubborn, change won't be easy or fast, so have patience. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you in advance for all the wonderful comments you're about to make. And more than that, thank you for sharing this delightful little gem of a podcast with all your friends and family. Have a great time ahead and see you soon.